Our reflection for the first Sunday in the season of Lent is based on Matthew chapter 4, verses 1 to 11. It was prepared for a colleague of mine in the United Church of Canada, Reverend Dave Jagger, and it has been adapted by me, Reverend Nancy Wilson, to share with the communities of Keene and Hiawatha on Sunday, February the 21st, 2021. It's funny that one of the first words we learn to speak and use as children becomes for many of us the hardest word to use as life progresses. Spend any time around a 2-year-old and you will know how often they use the word no. Please eat your peas. No. It's time for bed. No. Did you break the lamp? No. Do you want to go for a walk? No. In our case, as we train our dogs or our dog or cats, we're looking to protect them from getting into mischief or something that might be dangerous for them. So we use no as a command to definitely and quickly communicate what not to do. Sometimes, if we're lucky, it even works. I can often anticipate what our pet is going to do and see the consequences of their actions in advance, and so I say no to stop them. Often I can be more directive and decisive when telling others what not to do, but sometimes not able to say no to things in my own life that are not a priority. What's that phrase? If you want to get something done, ask a busy person. We can become so good at saying yes and so poor at saying no that we can become exhausted or overworked or spiritually depleted. How can we hear God's voice, and why would we want to if all of it means more work? Even this idea of Lenten practices as we enter into this season just sounds like more work. Well, maybe it's time to regain the practice of saying no, not indiscriminately or selfishly like a 2-year-old, but with wisdom and intentionality like a follower of Jesus. It means not saying no just because I don't want to, or because it's hard or too new or it scares me, but saying no because I can foresee the consequences of yes. No to this because I have already said yes to that. Well, we're given a great example of how this works in today's Bible reading from Matthew's Gospel. 3 times Jesus has to make a choice. 3 times he can either say no or yes. If you're the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. No or yes. If you're the Son of God, throw yourself off from this highest point of the temple. No or yes. All of these kingdoms and all of their wealth and power I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. No or yes. Each time Jesus says no on account of that to which he has already said yes. Yes, I will trust God to provide what I need. Yes, I will trust God to care for me. Yes, I will serve and worship God alone. Now, probably, hopefully, you're not going to be asked this week to throw yourself off a roof or intentionally starve yourself or turn your back on God or the church like Jesus was. But you are going to be faced with choices and temptations of your own. And during this COVID time, we've noticed that there is a gap in how people experience time. With many activities canceled and events postponed, many of us have more available time to choose how to use it. Others are still on the run, and time is spent learning new skills or pivoting to new ways of doing things or balancing home and family when they are both located in the same place. But common to all experiences, many of us share in the experience of giving more time to anxiety and worry, wonderment and uncertainty about the future. Well, during this time, there's a gap in how people experience health. We've been made aware of the vulnerabilities within the systems in which we live and move, the challenges of care for our seniors in our long-term care facilities, the discrepancy between how COVID affects people differently depending on variables such as age or race or mental health or economic status. People on the margins hold weighty decisions. During this COVID time, there is a gap in how people spend money or how much, if any, they have available to spend. In a conversation on guaranteed livable income, the United Church of Canada in our region has established a network of people and resources to learn more, to talk more, to do more about establishing a basic income for all people. Canadians need the security of having consistent income in order to be able to offer the basic necessities of life for themselves and for their families. And so as those of us who follow Jesus, each of us constantly gets to choose no or yes. How will I use the time and resources and the voice that I have been given? And that, my friends, is a question of stewardship. And so here's a Lenten practice. Make a list of 3 things, 3 Christian values to which you have said yes. Maybe they're similar to the 3 that Jesus relies on in the Bible story. Yes, I will trust God to provide what I really need. Yes, I will trust God to care for me. Yes, I will serve and worship God alone. Or maybe they're broader. Yes, I value faithfulness. Yes, I value kindness. Yes, I value generosity. Think about it and pray about it and write down 3 things, 3 Christian values to which you have said yes. And then carry that list with you as a reminder. Make a copy or 2 or put them in places where you will keep running into it, so that throughout the rest of the week, whenever a choice prevents itself, say no when it contradicts that which is written on your list, those Christian values to which you have said yes. And then jot down a brief story or take some time to reflect on how this Lenten practice worked for you and how it helped or didn't open you up to God as you make space in your life to actively live out the way of Jesus. For just as Jesus was tempted in the desert and tried and tested and true, so may we find the time, the energy, the resources to focus on being the people that God would have us be. Thanks be to God. Amen.